Oh. 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 Sairam, everyone.
Yeah.
Just to recollect what we were discussing last week, Swami is talking about the greatness of Bhagavatam and, bhakti, which is the main subject of Bhagavatam, and why it is important that we should read Bhagavatam to become closer to the Lord and cultivate bhakti. I think the last question which we were discussing before we ended was a question from Brother Arul, as to what the exactly sukshma or the subtle form which Bhagavata discusses and so on, because there are so many avatars which are discussed. I think we left saying that we will take that up for discussion today, and I had requested everyone to think about it and come back and share their thoughts. I think Brother Sivadas had already mentioned that after all, it's the subtle form is the Atman itself. But I thought if anyone wants to discuss it further, I think I will open it up for anyone to share your thoughts, and then we'll proceed from there. Thank you. Sairam, anyone willing to share your thoughts, please go ahead. I guess no one is.
Sairam, sorry, I had a bit, I was kind of late to join the session. I'm sorry. I don't know what was discussed previously, but I have another question. I don't know whether I want to. I am trying to understand a little bit what Swami is trying to teach us through this particular chapter as a Bhagavatam. Because we have studied Ramayana, Bhagavad, and Mahabharata, but actually what is Swami's teaching? What is the summary here that is happening within us in a subtle form? What is happening within us? That's what I am trying to understand. So because I try to summarize it as much as possible to my level of understanding. So Swami is talking about Mahabharata and Ramayana is taking place in every heart. That is through the Manas, Buddhi, and Chittam. And then Bhagavata also taking place in a subtle form in us, in the human beings. And for those process, then Swami is going through these avataric missions like Rama, Krishna, all those missions. And then he's bringing us to the level of the, what do you call this? As a bhakta, we have to evolve ourselves to the status of from the what is it, Maharaja, Yuvaraja, Kumara Raja aspect of it, and then we should become a Kumara Raja to then only we are eligible for that particular place. Then Swami is going on to saying that. And then Swami is also then coming back to us and telling us how the ordinary person, like they were the fear of sin and the love of God should happening within us. And then he's also differentiating between the ordinary people who is doing the service part and also the people who are doing the service in the meantime, the Japadhyana aspect of it. And then is that all brings us as a summary to my understanding is that how do I say this? Is it a process of transformation that should happen within us? That's what Swami is trying to. Is it sort of a transformation process? Is it that Swami is trying to teach us here?
Okay, thank you very much, brother. I think it is, so, you had raised the question last week also about the subtle form and the gross form. And you have basically elaborated your question just now. And I think they're very valid questions. And I think these are questions which all of us, because we are passing chapter by chapter, and I think unless we are all very clear as to what exactly is that we should take away from this chapter, then there's no point in reading. And I think it will be a good recap of whatever we have studied so far. So I will open it up for participants to share their thoughts. Saira. I guess in the absence of no one opening up, maybe I will start speaking, but others, please interject.
Sairam, the brother Arul's question is: God is not complicated. For me, is God is simple. That's what I understand. Everyone's life, we have to study Bhagavatam. Sairam.
Thank you very much, sister. Anyone else?
I want to add a few points on this one again, because for Parikshit, he was in a state that he could dissolve into bhakti right away. Say like we are making a coffee. What we usually do is if you put the milk into the water, we can't see the difference between both of them. But if we put a sugar there, we have to stir it. Is that happening in this one? Is that because we are not in that particular state of bhakti on the Parikshit state? So for me, we have to stir it like through this process. I have to reach to that level. Is that trying to? I should do as a sadhana. So to myself, for me to grow up.
Okay, brother. Okay, thank you. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please?
So, Sairam, brother. So here, the Bhagavad, the purpose of that one we discussed last time too, to talk about God and Bhaktas, how they achieve the self-realization. In order to do that one, we have to understand the stories, Mahabharata, Ramayana, but even Markandeya, even Kannappa Nayar. So when we listen this glory, this is all nectar. Then we can feel that one, we can enjoy that one. Even Kali Yuga, if you want to get self-realization, the God asking simple sadhana, listening to these stories and sing the glory of mine, then you build up the love, you can merge with me. So these stories are important, understand, then I can also achieve that thing. So you just enjoy the readings and participate in the study circle. We are gifted for that too. That is not easy. So this is the good path. That's all I can say. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, when I look at these three historical epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, and maybe the more of dharma or truth in that part, but Swami clearly says here, this Bhagavatam, it instructs in the path of bhakti. Even though in Ramayana or the Mahabharata, the path of bhakti was there, in different form, or in the different characters. But but Swami pointed out, or specifically, this Bhagavatam is for bhakti. Maybe Swami indirectly telling us, rather than going to the other path, maybe this is the easiest path you follow, after analyzing or summarizing Brother Arul's, the summarization. I got Swami is telling us, even Sister Ambiha said, God is not complicated, it's simple. what's the way we take in. Swami is telling me the bhakti is the most simplest way. Why you are wandering all over the places, just concentrate on bhakti. That's what I got it from here. Maybe it could be my thoughts, maybe different from others. That's the way I took it, from this paragraph. Thank you, Sai-Ram.
Thank you very much, sister.
Sai-Ram, the Swami is mentioned here that Bhagavan says that bhakti is talk about that, Bhagavan talk about that God glories and also his bhaktas. The bhaktas as a role models for us. We have to learn from them and put into practice, so we can follow their path. This is easy to follow that. And only that we had to put the aim that where we are going, that way we can reach the goal. The Swami says that easiest way is that others saying that too, that bhakti is not a difficult way. That example that the jnana or the other paths, they take it that is like a inviting God to us to our home. No, that king to our home. That's very, very difficult path, because if you are going to invite a king to our home, we have to decorate our home and prepare for a lot of things. No, if you bring to our God to our home, that's not that problem. No, that's very easy, because only that we need bhakti on our heart. That's my opinion. Thank you. We had to put in practice whatever that's Swami says that in the glory of the God, and what the ways that bhaktas took it, and we can follow one of them and take that way to God. Thank you, Sai-Ram.
Thank you very much, brothers. Thank you. Anyone else has any thoughts?
Sai-Ram, this is
Sai-Ram.
Sapsanti.
Yes, Auntie.
Going back to Arul's question, when we go first check about Atma, what Bhagavan is saying, it is beginningless and endless, because it came from Bhagavan. We don't know how many births we have gone through, and we don't know when it's going to end. Then the second one, he's saying this Atma is subtle and gross form. I think he wants the explanation to this. His clarity is also needed when you want to clear your doubts. So help him also, help us also. Thank you. Sai-Ram.
Sai-Ram, Sai-Ram, Auntie. So if there's no anyone else?
If you could also just answer one other question, where it says Bhagavatam is different, it is the description of the Atma. So how can the Atma be described?
Okay. Okay, sister. Okay, I think I will attempt to answer, I think, Brother Arul's question. I think first we will tackle what is Sukshma and Stula, or gross and subtle. Swami talked about Ramayanam and Mahabharatam, where there's a Stula or gross aspect, which is basically Dharma. The Pandavas followed Dharma. They, in their lives, they practiced in a certain way. Or if you take Ramayana, there also Rama acted as a human being, how we should function in this world. That's the gross aspect, which we all learned. Then Swami also talked about the same things is actually happening within our own hearts. There's a Rama in our heart, there are Pandavas in our hearts, there's Krishna in the hearts, and how they deal with it. But I think as sisters, I think Sister Ananti also mentioned, they all deal with Dharma, the Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, all different values or whatever, which actually can make one a good human being. I think that's what Swami has told. So there is some work which we have to do in our hearts, fighting with our own bad qualities. And externally also, there are certain things we have to, how we conduct ourselves in this world. Both are demonstrated by Ramayana and Mahabharata. Then the question of Bhagavata comes. So I think Brother Arul's question is, okay, what is the Stula or gross form, and what is the Sukshma or subtle form? The Stula is externally we worship the Lord. See, if we look at every single devotee, they all worship the Lord externally. At the same time, they also worked on it internally. See, for example, if you take Prahlada, he was tortured by everyone around. His father was putting him to death. But externally also, he worshipped the Lord without any fear. But Swami says that is actually happening within us also. Within us also, there is a Hiranyakashipu. Within us also, there's a Prahlada. If we have to become the Prahlada inside, because what happens, our own mind will dictate terms. Don't do this now. Don't think of God. You have to work this work to do. If you don't do this, you are going to lose everything. There is there are enemies within us, which actually stop us from praying to the Lord. Leave everyone outside. But internally also there are qualities in us which actually stifle expression of bhakti within us. So there's an internal struggle also which we have to go through to think of the Lord within. Externally is one thing. If I go for bhajan, people say don't go for bhajan. If you want to say go sing, don't sing. It's people are going to get COVID or something like that. People can put a stop. So there is an external obstacle. Whereas internally also there is an obstacle, because our own mind will say don't. Because see, there's more important things. Now don't think about God. We will do something else. So the mind is also can be a problem internally. So that is also a struggle which we have to make. So I think we can see the Lord outside, we can see the Lord inside. For both there are obstacles, and these great devotees who are listed have demonstrated to us that the Lord has to be sought out outside as well as inside. Outside is the form, the God with form. Inside is the formless God, because there is no form. It's the mind which imagines something and prays to. So Swami, so all this actually has been demonstrated by every single devotee in the Bhagavatam. And so Swami wants us to understand there's a struggle which we do externally to express devotion. There's a struggle internally, which is a bigger struggle to have devotion, to think of the Lord all the time. So I think that is what my understanding is. And also Bhagavatam also talks about, God took avatar as fish, God took avatar as boar. God, so from that or tortoise. So that means in everything God is present. That is also shown to us. So we should be able to see everything and see that is also divinity. See, the theory of evolution was described very recently, in a few centuries ago in the Western scientific world. But the Puranas are already talking about that evolution of how life itself evolved through these 10 avatars. You can see the fish, then the tortoise, then there's a boar. So you can see it has been already described. So that means they had the concept that even an Atman which is born, which comes out of the Paramatman, Jivatman, goes through each of these stages before it reaches the human level, and then it merges. So that was already described. I don't know, Kalyani, did I address your question which you asked? Now I forgot the question itself. I thought I had addressed it to some extent.
Yeah, the question was just how do you, because it's saying Bhagavatam is a description of the Atma, but how can you describe the Atma?
So I see, the thing is, Atman has to be experienced, and Bhagavatam tells you how to experience. Actually, the description is about the experience, not Atman itself. You can't, as you correctly pointed out, Atman cannot be explained, described. For example, I can say sugar is sweet. Beyond that, we can't say. But then we'll say that person drank some sweet and then he was so happy and he felt, everything. That is the only way you can describe. So we can describe the devotees went into ecstasy. Beyond that, you can't explain. Okay. Yes, you are right. So in Bhagavatam, if we read, that is the description of Atma, there will not be. But there's a description of the experience of Atma. Okay, so that's my understanding. I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry about it. I don't know if anyone else has something to say, please say
Thanks,
so.
Sai Ram. Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Brother Arul is the last word on this. He's the one who had the questions. I don't know whether you have any more insights, Brother Arul.
Oh, thank you. I am happy because my understanding is we have to. There's a process within us, like as you mentioned, that the process of transformation. That's the reason that we should see everyone as divine. That's the final conclusion. That's my understanding is. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. If everyone is okay, we can move on to the next slide.
Just one small question, like, where it says it can never end, nor has it ever a fini. Like, is that just two ways of saying the same thing, or is there some difference there?
Because the Atman is endless. We are also never, even our body may drop off. We should, that understanding comes to us. Then we will not cry when the body falls. We will not cry about anything in this world because we know that Atman is permanent. And that is what the Bhagavata says, eons after eons, yuga after yuga, the same divine manifests. So because every yuga, God has manifested. So that means God is always there. Atman is always there. So that is why it is not end. It's a cyclical thing. It will again and again and go back and forth. So we don't have to worry about it. That confidence Bhagavatam gives is my understanding. Finish means if it's a straight line, there's an end. If it's a circle, there's never an end. You are just going round and round. So everything is seen as circular or cyclical in Sanatana Dharma. The world emerges and it merges back to the Lord. It never is destroyed. Layam is the word. It goes back. It's just like the water drop comes out and goes back to the ocean. It comes out and goes back to the ocean. It is just a cycle, nothing to be worried about. We will, because the water will never, no scientist can destroy water, destroy atom. Atom will become energy. Again, it may, who knows, it may solidify into matter again. Okay, so I hope that's my understanding. Okay, Sai.
Sai Ram, I don't know. I have a question. Even after merging with God, you will come back again?
No.
So the answer to the question is very simple, Auntie. If a drop came out of the ocean and went back in the river, into the ocean, can you find that drop again? So the thing is, I think our worry is, will we remain? See, once you merged, you're merged. Then a drop comes out. You don't know the atoms which made you may be coming back. But that drop which originally emerged and went back will not come back as itself. It's my understanding.
Thank you.
Okay, it may be a different Saku auntie with a different name. Some other auntie will be okay.
I know it will be somebody else.
Even if you come, you should not worry because you will go back again. Don't worry.
Thank you.
But Saira, when it comes back, when a perfected being merges in the sea of God, suppose by any chance the same molecules of the water comes again in the same proportion and the same shape, but it comes liberated because it went in liberated mode. So when it comes, it is liberated mode. So it will help the people on earth and then go back when the time comes. No, so that once a perfected being merges in the sea of God, the chance to come back is very, very rare. The probability is almost zero. But if at all it comes back, it comes back as a perfected being. Well, I can just equate it, but I shouldn't equate it, but I can draw a parallel like the Rama came and went back. and came again as Krishna and went back. And came again Shirdi and Sai and went back. So likewise, a perfected being, when after merging, if it is coming back, it will be not a human being, it is an avatar, a higher state. So no worry. A brother said, no worry. If you come back, no worry.
Can it be a siddha?
Yeah, anybody, any perfected being, it can come in any form and go. But it is very, very, very rare chance actually. But there are people coming and going because they are not in the full measure, no. So they have say 90%, 95% people also go into the God state, but they will come back because 5% incomplete, no. But that is different. But the question here is, your question is, when the person becomes fully liberated and merges in the Brahman, sea of Brahman, can he ever come back?
Yes.
So he can never come back because to our human mind, it says that probability is very, 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 very less. But what I am saying is, even if it comes back, it will come as a perfected being. So there's no worry about that. Whether it is coming back and going in is not worried. It is perfected. No karma in that being. So whatever it is, it won't. It cannot bother us. And brother also said that one. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you.
Maybe I'll just add one. I think because I think it's a worry for everyone. We are working so hard. Are we going back to square one? The thing is, actually, you have come as a perfected being. But the thing is, you are not aware of it. And that's what Swami would say. So the thing is, everyone comes out from the Lord. So even today, there are new people coming out, So when will they become merged? There are so animals, so they are also going to become, So that's why this concept of yugas are there. Apparently, at the end of the Chatur Yuga, there is complete laya. And then the next Chatur Yuga starts and things will come out. The thing is, Swami says, don't be worried that you are born, that you are going through life and you're dying. Nothing to worry. Nothing to worry. So don't worry whether you come back or not. If you lost your ways, again, Swami will come and it'll be a replay of the same thing. So don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Okay. So the thing is, because sometimes we worry about all this, today, let's not worry about, let's only think about today. Let us think, can we think of the Lord today and nothing else? If every moment we think like that, job is done. But the thing is, that is what bhakti is. All these devotees were never worried whether they are going to come back. They were never worried that they are suffering. They were never worried. They were just happy in the thought of God. If you look at every single devotee in the Bhagavatam, that's all they did. They were just happy because they are not worried, oh, I don't have food, I don't have clothes, I don't have money. Nothing they were worried. They were just content and enjoy thinking of the Lord. Others may be thinking, oh, poor person, he is suffering so much, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. The devotee is never worried. For others, it may be worried. So I think this is what the Bhagavatam says. The bhakta is not worried whether he's merging, he's coming back. Nothing is worried. Because he's not worried, he thinks wherever I am in the Lord. That understanding is the only thing we need to strive.
Yeah.
Okay. Let us know that we are in the Lord. Nothing to worry. Nothing to fear. And be joyful. That state we should attain. This is the state of the bhakta.
Thank you very much.
Sairam.
Sairam. I think these questions come to us because, as Brother Arano said, we are not even close to that state. But that's why, in our Periyapuranams, when Cheklar, who composed it, saying about the bhaktas, it says in Tamil, Vedam Venda Pralin Vilanginar. So they don't even worry about liberation. They just want to be in the bliss of, as Brother Arno said, merged in the thoughts of God. That's it. Sairam.
Yeah, that's very good, Brother Vilashan.
Sairam.
Yeah.
As my understanding.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Sairam, my understanding that the avatars coming to the earth for the task, they bring that people with them that we have about in the heaven. No? They come to earth with their army, then fulfill their task and take them back. Like Rama, when he comes, that his army was that Vanaras, and Krishna was there at that army was that Gopikas and Gopalas. At the same way that Swami also brought some people here. That's I heard that. And when the times comes, they go back to their place, Swami. That's my understanding. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Brother Rajagopalan. So why don't you see one person he brought it here?
That's what I heard. I said that. But I heard that we cannot understand. We cannot identify them. No, that's that the God.
No. What I am saying is, what I'm trying to say is,
you can see
students, but Swami students.
Yes.
Are those? So we have Brother, I don't know, but he might look like a normal person like us, because all students were normal person like that. But as you said, they are the devas, and they come with for the help the Dharmastavanam of the avatar. No, so in Rama's time, Vanaras.
Yes.
Krishna's time, Gopikas. Sathya Sai time is students.
Yeah, students mean that anyone can follow his teaching. No, they're not the students that studying at the school.
Yeah, but we don't know that. We don't know actually who among us is the student. No.
Yeah,
so,
but I don't have the capacity to see the people that who was that, who is that.
Yeah,
God knows that. That's why I said that God knows that. I am not
Sairam. Sairam. I think we shouldn't confuse our mind. We have to believe in God. The time comes, the God will help us to understand. We shouldn't confuse our mind. Sairam.
Sairam, brother, I read in the book too that Gopikas, they all came from, from the, yeah, exactly. At the same time, we have to live in the moment. We don't forget the past. The past is past. Future is not in our hand. So moment is the important. If you are in the study circle, enjoy that one. Enjoy the nectar. So develop the bhakti. That's all. Nothing to worry. So Swami says always, he wave the hand like this. No worries when I'm here. That is the meaning of this waving the hand too. No worries when I'm here for you. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, brother. I just want to point out, actually each and every one is equally close and dear to the Lord. It is just that we don't realize.
Yes,
because it's ultimately it's our own heart, as Swami says. Everyone is actually equally close. Everyone is equally dear, but it's for us to realize. And once we realize, it doesn't really matter what others think or don't think. First, we should understand the Lord is actually near me. Each of us, if we think like that in our own heart, just because physically somebody may be close does not necessarily mean, Swami has said, that nearness is not important, the dearness, So actually equally, Swami will say, everyone is the putra, amritasya putra. Everyone is the child of immortality, Swami says. So all of us are actually equal. Sometimes in our own, I think first thing Swami says, don't think you are a sinner. Think that you are the child of God. I think we all have to assert that right. And that is what every devotee did. Wherever they were, they were sinners, they were murderers, everyone has become great devotee. Because everyone has equal chance to become close to the Lord. Whatever wherever they were born, whatever they did, nothing matters. And Bhagavatam is full of that. Don't worry where you are born, where you lived, nothing matters. Instantly, everyone can become near to the Lord. And so he's ready, waiting. That's the Bhagavata story. So no one is better, higher, lower, nothing matters. So
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Brother Sai Ram. But what I want to say is that Rama's time, Vanaras, specifically, we see that. In Krishna time, we specifically see the gopis. In Sathya Sai times, whom we see is students. But
at the gross level, yes, you are right.
Yeah,
but at the subtle level, yes.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. So that we go and we long for a darshan, one darshan, Bhagavan. But the students, years and years, and they are seeing him, and they talk to him, and they Father Namaskaram, and they teaching, and the Bhagavan is teaching in writing books, teaching discoursing. But for the students, he gives different messages that are not in books yet. So the only in the videos and them. So we have to see the parallel. That's what I want to say that.
So what I want to say is, let's take the story of Parikshit. Okay, there were so many great devotees. Parikshit was one who did not have much interaction with Krishna. So, but the thing is, even though he was not, only thing is when he was a baby, he was looking for the Krishna who saved in the mother's womb. As a baby, he was looking at everyone's face.
Yes.
So he was a toddler when Krishna left. And so he never had the chance. So what he did was, he went and throughout, even though people talk about the end, the last 7 days, throughout his life, he used to travel everywhere, and whoever has met Krishna, he will sit down and talk to them and hear the story. Throughout his life, even as a king, apparently he will go and suddenly finds he will go and sit down. If some Bhagavata is talking about Krishna, he will sit down and listen to that story. That is the way he led his life. He never had physical proximity with Krishna, except once or twice. But the thing is, he embodied the epitome of devotion, to listen to the story of the Lord. And because of that thirst of him, the last 7 days were fully spent in listening to the Lord. And because of that, we all have the Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
So he's a great example for everyone who yearns to know the God. And he's the ultimate example of that, who just thirst for the stories of the Lord and became one of the greatest devotees the world has ever seen. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, brother. I totally agree with Brother Sivadas. The Swami students are, this time is a chosen people only. There are people learning, it's a student too. But there is a people studied at Swami's proximity close to him. They are different. It's nothing to say there is no different. There is kind of difference. That's Swami made some difference on that. We can see it. It's not like as
Okay,
I just
sister,
wanted to add to.
I think I will stop this here and we'll go to the next slide.
Yeah, we'll go to
Brother Sivadas' comment is right. I just wanted to let you know.
I have one comment for that. Swami himself told that all the students are not my students. Those who are studying in my colleges, they are the college students. They are not my students. Those who are following my teaching, only my students, Swami said. Please understand that. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Yeah, that's also perfectly correct. That's also perfectly correct. Because certain students, Baba said, no, he's not my student. No, Baba, he studied here. No, he's not my student. No, Baba, he studied in the year of the. No, he's my student. Because he didn't follow the teaching. So there are one or two people, no doubt. as told by Bhagavan, there are some exceptions. Everywhere, in the Peter also, in the Jesus also, there are exceptions. So that is the case. But generally, the chances, they had more chances. That means they had brought some punya in the previous birth to have the proximity with the Lord. But as brother said, Persik, each and everyone can go to that our reality without any doubt, but following the devotion as in the Bhagavata and Sai Bhagavata and I think.
So Sairam, but I'd like to add one more thing. When you leave this body, only two items is going to take with you, the RRSP and the spiritual path. The RRSP means don't think you are RRSP. What you put it inside that good sadhanas. So that when you have RRSP, when you need, you can get some few dollars, whatever you need it. So same way, when you have any troubles or worries time or troubles, you can ask Bhagawan, I need to cure from that disease, or I need to overcome this problem. Then Swami will look at your RRSP. Is there money is there? If there is no money, and your path is going to be very difficult. So when you come back to the next birth, even your RRSP going to be remain same, and spiritual path, whatever you left, is going to be remain there. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, brother, Sairam.
Sairam, at the same time, if you don't have the RRSP, somebody is guarantor for there, you will get that money for your expenses. The guarantee is God. You must win the God's grace. You will get everything.
Yeah, overdraft. Yeah.
Okay, so just one comment, and then we are going to go to the next slide, if it's okay. Because it's, in life, for example, these four ashramas are there: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Swami says, just because a person is born as a Brahmana does not become, that doesn't determine their own life. In their action and lifestyle, they should be a Brahmana. Just by birth alone is not sufficient. Just because the birth always gives certain advantages. If you are born in a Brahmin family, you are exposed to certain Brahminical knowledge, so you have a chance is higher. But that doesn't mean it entitles someone to call themselves a Brahmana. I think it's the same thing with anyone else. Even if it's a student, it's the same thing. If we are not living a life of a student, then you deprived of calling yourself a student. The same thing, a person who is not born as a Brahmana can, in their own life, live like a Brahmana. Then, of course, in the eyes of God, they are Brahmana. So I think that's all it is.
Yeah.
We will move on.
Thank you, brother. Let us go to okay.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for the explanation, Saira.
Chapter 15. Bhakta, you must remove a big load from my head, Swami. However much I try to forget it, in whichever direction I turn, I suffer from it. I am hearing only that. Then how can I dismiss it from my mind? Finding it impossible, I am praying to you. Please do not mistake my intention. Kindly give me a direct answer, because if you do so, the weight will be lifted from the heads of all people like me, and enthusiasm will increase for sadhana. Otherwise, I am worried we may even lose the little faith that we have in the Lord, and I am afraid we may turn atheists. Your answer will be of immense help, not only to me, but to all bhaktas everywhere. Therefore, I pray to you to wipe off my doubts without hesitation and tell me the real truth in very clear terms. Swami, what is it? Tell me, what is the cause of so much headache?
I think you read the next slide also, because this is just an intro.
Bhakta, Swami, you have told us that man has 4 ashramas: brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and the sannyasa. And those that reach the last stage are indeed blessed, for they attain realization. Now please tell us what exactly is that sannyasin. Swami, so this has caused you all the worry, is it? My dear fellow, the wearing of the garua orange cloth, the shaving of the head, these do not make a sannyasi. He is a person who has given up all desires. He must be fully immersed in desire, design, and deed, fully in the one Godhead, and in the discipline to attain him. Whoever is so immersed is a sannyasi. Instead, if they retain all kinds of desires, if they engage themselves in every activity to realize their desires, then they are sannyasis.
Yeah. The word must be differently pronounced, I think. Okay, brother can do that. Okay. So,
As the saying goes, that is to say, counterfeits. Do you understand?
okay.
So
Oh, sorry, this is where there was a mistake, I think. Yeah, so in the other print of it, it says,
yes,
then they are not sannyasis, as the saying goes.
Brother can explain the pun of words, I think.
yes, it's an ironical statement.
Oh, yeah.
It's so I will I think Swami, as we can see, Swami is taking us stage by stage in Sandeha Nivarini. First he said we should become good human beings. Then he said now you should become a bhakta. Then now he has brought the concept of sannyasa. He's slowly taking us where we have to go end up. That's the beauty of how Swami writes. So I will stop here. So Swami is going on to talking about who a sannyasi is, who's beyond everything. So I will stop here because Swami has already clearly told us what and how we should be. I will open it up for discussion. Saira.
So Bhagavan is clearly saying that external appearance cannot decide whether a person is renunciant or not. So that is a main point here, and so he must be fully, the real sannyasi must be fully immersed. No, yeah, the real sannyasi must be fully immersed in desire, design, and deed, fully in the one Godhead, and in the discipline to attain him. So that is a definition Bhagavan is giving for the renunciant. Thank you, Saira.
Saira.
So, Sairam, brother, my understanding is for the sannyasi, he's supposed to have some qualities, dhyan, bhakti, dispassion, and self-surrender. And he had to work on the self-realization, mainly the desire. He's supposed to not have any desire in order to reach to the self-realization. Thank you, Saira.
Saira.
Sairam, I don't want to be digressed from the topic. What is the idea of wearing an orange robe for the sannyasis? That is my question on that. And the other one is like Swami is, I know he's trying to bring us all to the state of sannyasa state. But even prior to that state also, Swami Vivekananda, they were in the brahmacharya state. And some of the jnanis, they were in the brahmacharya state. And they also, we all consider them as great souls. How we are fitting into this Swami's differentiation, like everybody should become reach the last stage kind of thing. How is that playing here? Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, I also have a question. In addition to that, he must be fully immersed in desire. That's understandable. What is design? And deed. Deed also we can say. Design is something. You clarify, please. Thanks,
So,
Sairam.
so I will just answer that question because the words which Swami has used in Telugu, I will just read out. We should have icha, abhishtamu, kriya. So
Abhishtam.
basically, abhishtam.
Okay.
Abhishtam means, icha means the will. Okay, I would say the will
Yeah.
to reach the Lord or determination. Abhishtamu means a great yearning is what I would put.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Very
means,
good. Yeah.
so you should have the will to do that. You should have a great
Yearning. Yeah. Okay.
and then your action also should be in that. Okay,
Thank you, brother.
But
That's very good. Yeah. But when in the normal language we see these words together, the design and deed, so that's what they put it. But as you said, that's very yearning. So the will and yearning and the action, appropriate action to that. Yeah, that's very good. Brother, both Arul's question I would like to answer. The Bhagawan in Bhagawan's life also, there are certain students and whether it's males or females, and they opted to be not married, that they want to be a bachelor or spinster or whatever. So Bhagawan did not interfere. No, you should go and marry. Bhagawan didn't interfere. Bhagavan left it to their innate tendency. So the innate tendency is to be not married and serve the world, and Baba let it that way. So here Baba is explaining the traditional our literature style. But even in Swami Vivekananda is a Ramakrishna Math, they straight away from brahmacharyas they go to sannyasam. So we discussed this earlier. Brother also dealt it earlier. They are the two middle part is cut off. The grihastha and the vanaprastha cut off. Straight away they go to sannyasam. And also why the ochre rope is recommended. Bhavan and Vivekananda said, I am wearing ochre rope because no one should approach me and ask anything from me. It is a sin to say no to anybody as per the our shastras. So when I am wearing ochre rope clothes, nobody will, even the beggar will not ask, give me 5 paisa, no. So so that is what the sannyasi robe is given for the people, for the sannyasis, so that others don't ask anything from them. And also when they go and ask a householder, I want some food, he has the right to ask. The sannyasi has the right to ask according to the shastras, but the grihastha cannot ask, because accepting anything under any condition is a great sin. Parigraha is a great sin. So the sannyasi has advantage, accept anything for his spiritual living, and also not to say no. He has a chance of not using no. So these are the two things in that sannyasi okaro, as Brother Arul asked. I think the two things I covered as far as I know. Thank you, Saira.
I like to add to the Brother Sivadas, the reason for the orange robe is the love. Why we are wearing the white cloth? The reason is purity. If we have any black dot, people can easily find out. So be purity. And this orange is the one is called love. He has to develop the love. He will give the love anytime. Thank you, Saira.
Plus Dasan, and I read it somewhere that why the yellow, and again they chose it, for the white, take a white cloth and dip it in the mud water. put the water in a bucket and put some mud in that. Then you dip the white dhoti in that and take it out. Then it becomes the ochre. No? So it is easy to color it. That also I read somewhere. So anyhow, others can talk, and brother can talk also. Thank you, sir.
Sorry, thank you, brothers. I have a question on this. The last sentences you were trying to say that we need some corrections. I didn't understand that. If they engage themselves in every activity to realize their desires, then they are sannyasis, as the saying goes. What is that you are trying to do?
Brother has to do it one day.
What saying goes here? Like, I didn't understand.
In another version, the counterfeit is sannyasi. We can say sannyasi. Renunciation sannyasin. I think the counterfeit in the Telugu or Sanskrit, I don't know, brother can think of look at that one. One word they are using sannyasin, and for the counterfeit they use sannyasi. Brother can look at the original.
In Telugu, Swami has basically said, Varu Sanyasulu Karu. That's all. They cannot be sannyasis. That's all Swami has said.
Oh, okay.
But in English, I don't know how it is translated.
Oh, so they're not sannyasis. So that's
Swami has straight away said they are not sannyasis.
Okay, then that's easy.
Okay, Swami basically says, Attu leka sarva ashalu ichalu undi karmalu cheyuchu, means they have all the desires, all the wishes, and they are working towards them. Kevalamu kashaya vastramu vesi jadalu penchina, means if they are just wearing ochre robe and they are just having long hair, varu sanyasulu karu telisina, means do you know that they are not sannyasis? That's what Swami says. Swami didn't go into this counterfeit or anything like that. But I think in English idiom, it sounds nice, I guess. So whoever has translated has put it. But Swami is making a straight statement. If they have all these desires and they're working for that, they are not sannyasis.
Sairam, brother, the way they have written here, I agree with Brother Sivadas. First of all, they have italicized. That means that word has a different meaning or connotation. And maybe that's why I thought maybe that word carries a different meaning, even though the same spelling, the same everything, but the way they have put it here, I also thought, but right now, that's why when Sister Kalyani asked about there is a note is missing, I was wondering where is that, and now I am clear that when Brother Aruno said they are not sannyasis, then it's the direct meaning. Thank you for the clarification.
So whoever is instead, if they retain all kinds of desires, if they engage themselves in every activity to realize their desires, then they are not sannyasa. That's Kalyani says. Not has to come in the last but one line. Penultimate line should have a not sannyasis. Saying goes.
Go to the next slide, if it's okay.
Bhakta, but Swami, now we get sannyasis very cheap for a rupee or for a paisa or even for a cigarette. Among these, whom should we approach? Whom should we accept? Swami, why are you concerned with all this? You are concerned with your advancement, your progress. You must crave for a person to point out to you the right path for your sadhana. Or, if that is not possible, you approach and accept yourself. That is enough to give you what you require. Depend upon yourself, and your doubts will be destroyed.
Sai Ram. Thank you very much, sister. I think it's rather straightforward and clear, I think. If anyone would like to share anything, please go ahead.
Brother Sairam, in this, Swami's words are very strong, that to focus on our own advancement. That's what I can understand from him, because he was showing a person who is not following the real sannyasi. Swami asked not to look at that, and he's asking to follow somebody who's in your path and care about your advancement. That's a very nice statement of Swami. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, sister.
And Baba in Sairam, in elsewhere, in other places, Baba say, oh, if you don't see a guru, the correct guru, that you examine and see whether the guru fits in all the categories in the Shastra says. If it is not fitting, so don't look for a guru. Take God as your guru and continue. Baba says many times, take God as a guru. So here the same thing Baba is saying. Accept your self, uppercase self, S, so the Atma. If that is not possible, you approach and accept yourself. So yourself means Atma. So Atma means God. Actually, what Bhagawan is saying, or the Shastra is saying, is whether we understood or not, in our core of being, only God is. No jivi, anything. So the self is in us. So we may not understand it, but the fact is the self, because Shastra says, Bhagavan says. So so accept the self as your guru and progress. That is enough to give you what you require.
Oh, that's a good point, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sairam, is it following your conscience, own conscience, right?
Conscience and still deeper than that, no? That okay. Still deeper than that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else has something to say?
In other words, when we at least believe that the self is in me, that will guide me, or do this. As Surya said, I can agree with you also. So the being inside, the self can guide us automatically. Automatically takes us, or go to do dhyana, or like that. It will be prompting us to do this. So that way also, if there is no good guru, we can rely on ourselves. Thank you, Sayana.
I like to add one more thing. Even though we get a guru, or even though we are going to Sai Center, we have to follow what they are teaching. We have to follow. If we take Sai Center, we have to follow Baba's teaching. We have to attend the study circle. How many people are prepared to attend the study circle? Even the Sai Centers, people are prepared to criticize. That is very sad thing. It's very, 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 very sad thing. Even if they don't follow even one day, they're prepared to criticize. We don't talk about other people. So how they going to uplift in their life, even though they got a chance to come and come to the Sai Center? Are they following? Are they talking softly? No. So what is the purpose of coming to Sai Center so many years? So you have to learn Baba's teaching. When you talk like that, you are hurting Baba's feeling. I taught so many things. I brought to you this Sai Center steps, this stone. I asked him to climb this, my place, my front of me. You put the flame and pray, Om Om, and you talking louder, talking. So this will hurt Baba's feeling. People never think about. So even though if you get Guru, even if you get an opportunity, you have to be thankful for that one. You have to follow that, then only you can uplift yourself, you can get peace. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam. Swami says these days a lot of people in behind that ochre robe, no, you cannot recognize that which one is good, which one is bad. No, that is very difficult because we have no certain capacity for that, because the God only know that
Yeah.
who is right and who is wrong. So only thing we can go on our path, because our path is different. Maybe we are only thinking about God. So you go in that way. Don't worry about other people. That's the things. So I'm trying to say that. That's my understanding. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much.
Here, actually, this book, Bhagawan writing for the future generation, thousand years to come, are going to read this one. But currently for us, Baba is our Guru. Everybody understand that one. So Baba is our Guru. He has laid down everything that we need, So we don't need any Guru. So we have a double advantage. The Guru and God is one. So this is not for us, Sai follower. As Brother Dasan said, but even Raju said, no, if we follow the Bhagavan's teaching to the letter, then it is not happening, actually. Dasan pointed out. It is not happening because maybe some structure setup is wrong. So the things now, the power hunger people are coming to the positions and spoil. That's what I can say. Dasan is point out. No, some people creep in and come, and then they don't know they don't read Bhagavan's literature, and they don't attend these study circles. Then how are they going to learn? That's the correct sentiment Dasan put it. We can see that everywhere, no? So my brother Rajawal said, if we follow Bhagavan's teaching, then we are also students. That's correct. Correct. I agree that one. Thank you, Saira.
Anyone else has something to say? Yeah, I think brothers have nicely put it. I think, we should, because sometimes what happens is we can delude ourselves. Okay, I am just following my conscience. Everyone, if we ask, they will say, I am only following what I think is right. This is a very common feeling for everyone. But I think we should take, I think other brothers have already pointed out, that we should take this in context of whatever Swami has already spoken. Swami has said you need to cultivate the values, Satya, Dharma, like the Pandavas, all that. Then he has spoken about Bhakti. You need to cultivate, which Brother Rajagopal said, once we have that Bhakti, then Swami says, don't look outside. Then, don't worry about what others are doing. If you follow this, whatever I have already told you, just rely on yourself and you will be guided. And I think that's what Swami is saying. Those are my thoughts, which brothers have also said in very different words. Thank you. If there's no one else has something to say. Yes.
Sairam, brother.
Sairam.
Subhashini here.
Yes.
I have a question. When there is, according to the discussions what brother said, yes, we have our conscience and we have our faith towards Swami as God or Guru, God. But there are situations that when the negative energy comes, especially the situation right now, what we ground devotees are facing, situation like personally for me, Swami is God, and once we believe that Swami is God, there are discussions going around, which that negative energy during the discussions, it is affecting for the other people or for me personally. So situation like that, specifically if I want to say, touches the structural change which is going on. And can you just I would like to understand situation, because I have faced few situations in the discussions and negative thoughts are coming, as brother said, for positions and powers. There are some informations are not put together. So I personally feel that I don't know. I mean, here do I as a believer, do I go into teaching, not teaching, but at least giving the updates, or is it something we just leave it to surrender to Swami and say, let Swami take care of this thing? And also, can you also give a little idea like about the structure change and why we are connecting to Global Council?
Sairam, sister, maybe it's slightly out of the topic, but you have posed the question. So I don't want to seem as if I want to avoid answering this. See, I think very simply put, every one of us have come to the Sai organization or Sai. Even if we go to the Sai organization, the only reason we go anywhere is because that becomes a means to an end. So for example, if you want to go to Swami, whatever helps you, you go and be part of. For example, if you take a train which is going to a particular destination, you will get into the train. The reason you don't need to get attached to the train. You get into the train because you want to go somewhere. So I think most people come to the centers because they want to have some connection, linkage to Prashanthinare. Okay. Otherwise, we don't need to go into the center. If you want to have only heart-to-heart relationship with Swami, you can stay at home also and pray to Swami. You don't need a place. You don't need a few people at all. The thing is, but once you say you are going to Swami and you want to have an access to a physical location where Swami took avatar, that's all matters. You know, whichever train it is, you get in and go there. And if you get into a train, if the train suddenly stops and says, we are not going to go there for whatever reason, that this train is going to go somewhere else, then if you are, if you are going to go to a point A, and this train is not going to go into point A, you would say, I don't have anything to do with this train anymore. Let the train go wherever it is. I have to get down and find a train which will take me to point A. Because that's each individual have to make a decision. And then the thing is, if you say this train has already decided to go somewhere else, there's no point in, a passenger can't go and fight and make the change. So each passenger has to say, okay, it's time to board another train. So the thing is, I think in detachment, even this also should go away, you understand? It's my personal view. Because if you are focused on where you want to go, you just get into the train. You are not worried who the driver is, how the train looks, nothing matters. You want to be in a train which will take you there. And so there's no point in talking who is the driver, how are they, what are they, doesn't really matter at all. The structure and all relates to that. For a variety of reasons, these organization structures come up. Whatever structure which works for you, I think the devotee should choose. And I think we should not force anyone to choose this or that. I think that's my personal view. For example, in a center, there are some people going one way, some people going the other way. They have to make a choice. And I think once the choices are made as a center or organization, whoever is not part of it will form another center. This is not very uncommon in Toronto. There are so many centers which have gone parted, divided, and so on. I think nothing wrong with it. Everyone will hopefully one day reach the destination, one day. But I think each person has to make the choice. Let's not get bogged down by why this is happening, why it is not happening. The way world functions is completely different. So just find the train which serves your purpose and board it. is what I would say. I think with those points, I don't want to dwell too much about the structure, but I don't think this is the place. If there's a need, we will have a separate discussion altogether. But it is better for us not to dwell on some of these things, as Swami himself has just told in this paragraph. You must crave for a person to point out to you the right path for your sadhana. If that is not possible, you approach and accept your own self. Okay, because sometimes when we say we are accepting our own self, we are actually using the information which others have provided. So and so is like this, so and so is like that. Leave the people out. Just see in this, where is this train going? Where is this train going? Where do I want to be? Let us not get torn apart emotionally by this. Just try to be away from that. You will always find a train going to the destination you want to go, and you pick it. That's what I would say. Depend upon yourself, and your doubts will be destroyed, Swami says. Okay, so those are the words which I have. It's 10:17. I will just pause for a few seconds if anyone has something to say. If not,
Thank you very much, brother. You cleared my thoughts, and yes, it's individual decisions and individual who wants to get into the train. Thank you, Saira. It's clear for me now.
Sairam, I'd like to add one more thing, because we need guru that easy to reach to the other end. Although if we don't have gurus, so it's like going inside the thick jungle. You cannot reach to the other end. The guide will take you to easily to reach to the path. Same thing, Sai Center also very amazing thing. Because of Sai Center only, I learned all these spiritual thing. Before that, I don't know. So that is a good path. That is everyone, when they get the gurus, when they get the this kind of organization, get the benefit out of that one. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, I would like to add some few words. This is each people individual transformation. In our, we learned Samandar, he got it transformation on age 3 or 4. Then upper is like that. This is we learned from small age to religion and God and everything. But because of that knowledge, we come to know Swami as a God and the Guru and everything. Some people think he's for a friend. Everything is Swami. Then we have to realize our own realization. We shouldn't go and tell other people to do that. Whatever information is there in the WhatsApp or anywhere, is God only knows. We should transform our own itself. Brother, I don't know, very good explanation he gave us. We shouldn't go beyond that. This is individual transformation.
I think we lost sister. So if there's no other anyone,
Sairam, brother, one little comment. I really thought about where are we at Swami's teaching. Swami has years and years, he has taught us by the way he lived and by the way he, directed us and taught us and everything. It's really sad to see that. Where are we at Swami's teachings right now? Swami is the only one, he needs to guide us. It's so sad, the situation right now, but I didn't want to talk about those organizational structure or anything, but I really worry about Swami's teachings. All these years, Swami taught about unity, love, whether we really practice the Swami's teaching years and years, the 30 years old, and now nobody can take any, the proper decision on this one. It's so sad to see. Thank you, Saira.
So Sairam, sister, the thing is, sadness and sorrow comes because of attachment. Okay. So the thing is, if we feel sad, then we should say, what are we attached to? Are we attached to a group of people? Are we attached to a center? Are we attached to ourselves, body? So I think this is the question we have to ask. There's nothing to be sad because the Swami knows how to take care of everyone. But sometimes what happens is, for example, there's always a process of winnowing. When you have grains, you winnow so that the chaff will be flying away and the rice will be there. It is not that the chaff is going to be thrown away. It is again processed. Okay, so the Swami has his own way of shaking it once in a while, because that is not only for each person to find out for themselves where they are. And that's a natural process. The numbers don't matter. The number of years we follow don't matter. It's like an exam, in a class, you study a subject, then an exam is conducted, the marks come. Some people fail, some people pass. Why is it done? So that people who fail know what exactly they didn't learn. And then they will have an opportunity to learn. It's not that people are discarded. So that is life. And God continuously tests. The tests are only to teach everyone what they need to learn more. So I think that's the way we should look at it. Because if everyone was coming to the center was saint, then the center is not needed. So the center is like a school where we all come to learn. And in our class, some people pass and they move on to the next class. Some people fail and they repeat. It's okay. It's part of life. So I don't think we should worry about them, worry about anyone. As Swami says, just focus on your own. You are concerned with your advancement. Why are you concerned with all this? Can you believe that we have to read this paragraph today? Why are you concerned with all this? You are concerned with your advancement, your progress. You must crave for a person to point out to the right path of your sadhana. If that is not possible, you approach and accept yourself. See, it is nothing is accident. Okay, that we have to read this today means Swami wants us to read this. So Swami has this. Actually, anyone who has any questions, please read this paragraph again and again and contemplate on it. And that's what I would say. With those words, we are going to close today and we will continue next week.
Brother, I have an announcement. Brother, we are ready for the May 22nd Sanskrit class, correct?
Yes, brother.
Yeah. The Kalyani, please, could you bring it first slide? So please, an email will be coming in this week. Please note the changes. So the Sanskrit class will start on May 22nd at 9 a.m. But of course, next Saturday, which is May 15th, there is no study circle because there is our Region 2 retreat program, morning to evening. So Saturday, there are no study circles, Sandeha Nivarini or whatever it is. No circle. But Sunday, 16th, we will have the Dhyana Vahini at 3 o'clock, 3 to 4:15. So from May 22nd, the Saturday, Sanskrit class will be at 9 a.m. Till 10:30. And that Sandeha Nivarini study circle will go to the time slot of 3 to 4:15 next to May 22nd. From May 22nd onward, the Sandeha Nivarini study circle will be held from 3 to 4:15 p.m. Yeah, I think an email will be coming and it will make you clear, but make this, mark this item clearly. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam,
yeah.
In addition to Brother Sivada's announcement, I just wanted to say again one more time, the coming Saturday, May 15th, we are having the Iswarama virtual program from 5:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. with different programs. The list will be sent out today or this week. And the other thing is at 10:30, there's a Cooksville is celebrating Viswaramba Day from 10:30 now. So there is a guest speaker of Aravind Balasubramania is joining for that program too. So everyone encouraged to join there too. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam.
Yes, sir. So Sairam. So we will close with Samasta Loka. Sairam. Oh. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam, everyone.
Sairam. Sairam.
Sairam.
Sairam.
Sairam.